It's the Hume Footy League, and we're deep now into the finals after last week's first part of the series. And Phil Bouffler is standing by, the president of the league. He joins us now. G'day, Phil. How you going?
Good morning, Wayne. A little bit cooler in the Riverina today. A bit of wind, quite windy last evening, and a little bit of rain overnight, but not too much. I think we'll have a cooler weekend, but looking forward to the footy.
So was it warm on the field last week? Warm in terms of the action, but really beautiful weather, and probably some people even had to put some sunscreen on for the first time.
That's the story. So, it was quite warm. It was a lovely day. The ground, everything looked fantastic, and the weather was great. But as I said, a little bit cooler this week, but it was a great weekend. Good crowds. I think we're up about 10% on the previous year, so it was very good.
Oh, excellent stuff. Well, Bundry, a pitcher on a very beautiful spring day, was a pitcher for the Burrum side, because on the Saturday they kicked 13-5-83, beating how long? 9-16-70. And the easy question to ask you is inaccurate kicking is going to cause you some problems, and it did for the Spiders, who went from third place and dropped out in the elimination final.
Yeah, disappointing result for Howlong, but a great win for the Burrum. You touched on that. Poor kicking at goals. So half time 6-8 to 4-1. So the Burrum's kicking kept them in the game, and inevitably at the end, Howlong's poor kicking got them out of the game. So it was just it's just a sustained effort by Burrum, and Howlong will be disappointed.
Second half of the year by the Burrum Saints has been absolutely sensational. They're in great form. They've had some real guns like Trent Ianson picking up some of the ball. They've also had goals from Hamilton with 4, and also Cook got 3. Keith Tallant's had a good second half of the season with a couple, and they just had too much firepower for a very disappointing Spiders. Clark and Hobbs and Wilson all booted 2. Matthew Wilson and Peter Hancock good, but they'd be very disappointed dropping out in the first round of finals. The other game was on Sunday, and it was another beauty. And I thought another little upset here. It was Ramble Bundry Wallace, 16-15, 111 to beat to the Power, 10-9, 69. The Power promised much, but the lights went out when it mattered on Sunday.
They played well, had a good season. CDHBU had 3 grades in the football and 2 in the netball, and I think they only ended up winning 1 of the netball, so it was a bit of a disappointing day for the club, but it was a great effort to get so many people there. 5 points in it at half time, and we thought maybe CDHBU would come back, but the Giants played very well in the second half, just powered away. So they made a few moves. The young full forward from CDHBU was playing well, so they put a new bloke on him, and he just stopped him pretty much in his tracks. So that was a good win to the Giants, and it'll be interesting to see how they go on the weekend.
They got firepower up forward with Nathan Wardius. He's played at a higher level this year, and he booted 5 at this level. He'll be a thorn in any side, particularly this week. Mark Anthony with a couple, and Herzik and also Robertson kicked 2. Mitch Thomas, Daniel Learski has been very good. That could be high up in the BNF for this year. And also Callum Butler and Adam Phipps tried hard for CDHBU, but they were done when Ryan Beveridge led the way with 4, and Corey Smith, he booted 3, but he's had a good season, but he's out of the finals race. Looking at a quick look into reserves and the underage football, and over the weekend, a couple of good games that were played. Howlong got through easily over Burrum in the same match for the reserves in the elimination final, the first one, 19-11 to 4-4, and a good effort from Gindra, 9-8 to 2-3. A comment on those 2 games, Phil?
Both sides at one played very well. So especially Howlong, it was a very good. It was a standout win by them. So they played very well, and Gindra on the second day. So they're a couple of good form sides. So I think they might cause a bit of trouble this week. So interesting to see what happens. But they were 2 very good wins.
What about the Osborne boys in the under-17? Once you get to finals, it seems that the black and gold, they know how to win them. 7-7-49 to CDHBU, 3-3-21, and Burrum won the other game in a pretty one-sided 9-14 to 3-6 over Holbrook.
Yeah, good wins to both the sides. Like the BB Saints, Burrum played very, very well on the Saturday. That was a good win by them. They were up and about, and on the Saturday, Osborne played very well again. So 2 good sides, and they had 2 good wins. That was good footy.
Yeah, look out for John Ryan and Josh Hunt. Matt Shank booted 3-2 for Osborne in a good effort. Deegan Purcell led the way with 3 for CDHBU in that match. And in the other match, Brock Burrum were well served up front, and we'll see more of this Max talent, another one of the talent players that comes out of the Brock Burrum club. And a good effort from him with 3 goals. And Will Jenkins led the way for Holbrook. Will Clohessy, Joshua Quirk, good for the winning side to go on to face another week of football. In the under-14 grade, it was a nice effort to here to pick up the points from Lockhart, 15-9 to 1 point from the Swampies, while it was a good win by Culcan and an upset to 5-2-32 to CDHBU 4-5-29.
The Sunday game was a close game. Not much in that. That could have gone either way, but Lockhart just dominated their game, played very well. So had he tried hard all day, but they were just beaten by a better side on the day.
Yeah, I want to say this Hayden Donoghue, 9 goals. Cooper Higgins was magnificent. He booted 2 along with Harrison Jones's 3. They had it on a string. Ryan Montgomery tried hard for Henty along with Elijah Kinning. But, gee, they are really looking the goods, these young boys from Lockhart on the day. And in the match on the elimination final on the Sunday was a good effort for the better players were Benningston Okep, and then it was from CDHBU. And Nash Gotti was very good for Calcan. Over now, back to senior football, and that we look at the medal. It's at the Albury Club on Wednesday, and Phil, I know last year went off with an absolute bang. It was great stuff down there, and it's a big medal night. A couple of terrific players. You reckon that Osborne players will take votes from each other, but no doubt about the fact that there's going to be a splendid night. Usually you see somebody in the 3rd or 4th teams win your medal.
Funny sort of a thing. Anyone could go anyway this year. It's quite close. So great sponsors, the commercial club. So looking forward to having a second function there across all the grades, whether it be the under 11 netball or whatever it is. There's all going to be close competition. So it's a good day to focus on individuals. It's a good night. We all play team sports, but this recognises individuals. There's a few volunteers and club championships and things like that. So it's just a very, very good night. We've got Robbie McKinlay comparing the night. And All in Sport will be broadcasting live, so it'll be a great night.
Yeah, great night to see. And look, we won't go through too many of the medal tips because I think it's just a wide open field, but there'll be goal kicking, of course, and other awards given out across the grades too, which is great to see. Now, let's go to semi-final action, and we've got this one. It is the big one that on the Saturday, the qualifier at Walbundry, Osborne play Holbrook. This is a beauty because remembering the only side that's beaten Osborne this year is Holbrook. The side that beat Osborne last year when they never lost a game right through the season until the grand final was Holbrook. This is going to go either way.
This will be a very, very interesting game, Wayne. So I think the statistics are, I think they've won 50 out of 52 games, Osborne. So only 2 games they've lost have been to Holbrook. So just fascinating. So I see Osborne, they've got Jamie Parr playing. He played his first game last week and 2 weeks ago. Then he now is playing this week. And I see George Alexander's been named on the bench. So just not sure how many of these will be, how accurate this will be. But they're in the paper as playing. So, fascinating. Holbrook got some very good players too. So this is going to be a ding-dong game. It'll be a great day. So if you're interested in local football, this would be the game to come and see.
Oh, it would be. And, of course, the factor that has to come out here is that Osborne are just going so well in the corresponding time last year. They were able to get the job done and get into the grand final. They are, they're the side that everyone watches from everywhere, and perhaps all of the other sides in your comp look at and growl a bit and go, gee, how do they do it? But they know how to get into grand finals to start with. That's a key thing about a club.
At the end of the day, Wayne, you can't win unless you're there. So that's what they do consistently. They're very, very consistent is the word you put for Osborne. So they've got good grades represented again in netball and football. So it's a credit to them, really. And Holbrook's not that far behind. So it'll be a fascinating day of football. Really will.
It's going to be. Last time they met Holbrook with 13-12-90. They came from behind in the last quarter to beat Osborne 11-8-74 in a magnificent game of football that day. And the players to watch, Connor Galvin with 3 for Osborne. And it was a big effort from Andrew McKinlay, who booted 5. And I think is going to be one of the players to watch at the medal night. Certainly he has had a good season. Well, there's a big match, the other senior game, and this one comes up a big elimination. Brock Burrum versus Ramwell Bundry, two giant killers of the competition. Brock Burrum knows also how to get to grand finals. They are looking to get to a preliminary final. They looking to go from outside the contention after 5 or 6 rounds, and I wrote them off. Now they get Ramwell Bundry Waller, and what am I going to do? I'm going to tip the Giants to write them off again.
Oh, Wayne, well, Brock Burrum will be very pleased to hear that since you jumped off them early on and gave them up at about round 5. They've just dominated, so they played very good football. This is a very hard game. They both had 2 very good wins on the weekend. They both had good opposition sides they put away. This is a toss of the coin, really, really is. So we're off the whole book for this game, so I don't think the ground will make too much difference. It'll certainly be a neutral ground, so, gee whiz. Right, I'll go the other way, Wayne. I'm going to jump on Brock Burrum. I just think they've played good footy. They've sort of been consistent since probably round 5, and I think they might get up.
Yeah, the battle of forwards. Keith Tallant having a good season. Nathan Wardius on the other side for Ramwell Bundry Waller. It's a good one. The reserve grade is going to feature Osborne and Holbrook on the qualifier. The 2 top sides in the seniors in first grade. In second grade are also there. How long play Gindera in the other match. Down into the under-17s match. Henty in a very good side that they are. Play How long in the qualifier. I'll get you tipped. Do you reckon the Henty Swampy boys can put themselves in the grand final?
Oh, Wayne, I think they probably will. I just, once again, you're leading into those games, you've got to have form. So I think Henty have been good all year. I think Henty probably will.
Both won 13 games through the season. It has been a terrific battle at the top for those two. What a game that'll be. Osborne played Brock Burrum in the second 17s game. And, of course, these two sides have finished the home and away. Osborne in third with 48 and Brock Burrum just behind them with a better percentage. 1 game difference at 44. So nothing between these two sides either.
Good game. They both played well. It was good games last week. Brock Burrum was very impressive then. They played well. So I think Brock Burrum might sneak home here.
And on the under-14s, how long get Osborne? How long have been the premier side here this year? They were 14-3. Osborne, though, also 14-3. Nothing between the two of them. Could go either way.
Toss of the coin. I think how long, they've got a lot to play for, really. They've been disappointed with the first grade going out. They'll get a good support there. Osborne, there'll be a swag of people there on Saturday for Osborne. And I think maybe how long might sneak home here.
Now, a bit of talk in the main street there in the beautiful veranda town of Lockhart about their kids. The under-14s are going to be powering away. Will they be too good for the Lion boys?
I think on what I saw last weekend, I think they probably will be. Never looked like being headed. Colcan had some very good players last week, and that was a good win to get over CDHBU. But I think Lockhart will be too strong in this game.
Yeah, I think the boys from Calcan, they got into the finals in 5th place with 11 wins. Lockhart had 13 on the season, so it is something as a little gauge to go by. It'll be a terrific day. Beautiful ground up at Holbrook there, but a lovely day also at Walbundry for the Saturday and the big night at the Albury Club on Wednesday for the medal count. And Phil Bouffler, I know you'll be at all of them, and look forward to your comments next week to sum it up.
Thank you, Wayne. We'll be much to the wise. We'll have best and fairest winners and all sorts of things next week, so it'll be good. Then we'll know who's in the grand final, and we'll know who's facing off or who's basically 1 game away from the grand final. So I was just looking at the weather map yesterday, so a little bit cool, probably 12 degrees tomorrow. They're forecasting 14 Sunday, a little bit overcast, not too bad. But the following Saturday, preliminary final day, 27 degrees. Would you mind?
Ice fests, Phil, and maybe the ice box for a few of those punters out on the boundary line like yourself.
We might need that. That's it, Wayne. Yes, that's exactly right. We'll need a little drink or two to get us through the day.
Good stuff on Hume Football, Phil Bouffler. We'll catch you next week.
Roger, thanks, Wayne.